For this lesson, we'll be discussing the if function. The if is a conditional statement. It returns value based on a true or false condition. It is written as equal to if, and it has three parts. The syntax for the if statement is equal to if, open brackets, logical test, comma, the value if the condition is true, comma, value if the condition is false. The condition is referred to as the logical test. The condition can be things like if the number is less than another number, if a number is greater than another number, or a number or text is equal to something. Let's use the if statement to determine the category of the age of the staff members. So, for example, this company wants to know if they have staffs that fall in the old or young category. So in this case, we have two categories, which is either you are young or you are old. And the criteria is if you are less than or equal to 40, then you are young. Then if you are above 40, then you are old. This is just an example. It's not a real case scenario. So you start by typing your if, equal to if, equal to if. Now look at the explanation of the if statement. It says, it checks whether a condition is met and return one value, if true, and another, if false. This is the syntax, just as explained previously. So you start with the logical test. The logical test is the condition. Now, the value, if true, or the value, if false. So we're dealing with the age, and we want to categorize the age into two. We want to have the young and the old. So if, now you select the range, which is this cell. Now notice that we did not select a whole range because we are dealing with each of these individually. Now, we're dealing with the age category. That's why we click the age. That's the day 2. If day 2 is greater or equal to 40, now what is the value if this is true? We say he is young. But if this is not true, then we say he is old, which means if John Halpert is less than equal to 40, then he is young. But if he is greater than 40, then he is old, which means the output is false. Now in this case, Jim Halpert is young because he is less than 40. Let's try this again. For this one, equal to if, and lastly, which is D3, we are dealing with the age, so you have to select the age, is less than or equal to 40. If this is true, remember to always put the value in quotation marks. Else, old, close the bracket. So in this case, Parsley is old because she is above 40. Look at the syntax again and try to see if you can make sense out of it. If D3 is less than or equal to 40, this means if you are below the age or you are 40, then you are young. But if you are 41 and above, then you are old. Try this out for the remaining of the cells and see if you get the same answer as me. If you got this, then you are correct. You successfully understood how to use if function in this context. Try out every other context and see if you understand it. Let's try one more example for the if function. Let's say, for example, the company wants to invite only the salesman for meeting. Now, instead of surfing around the data manually looking for the salesman, you can use the if statement to achieve this. You start by typing your if function, if, bracket, select your logical test. Now, if D2, if this range is equal to, or let's type in our criteria, which is the salesman. Remember to put whatever you're typing in quotation. If not, it will not work. Now, if F2 is equal to salesman, what should it return if this is true? If the selected range is equal to salesman, what should be returned? Now, you return invite for the meeting. If the selected range is not a salesman, what should be returned? Return do not invite. Take a look at this and see if you can understand the syntax. First, we start by writing our if statement. Now we'll select the range, give it a condition. If the selected range is salesman, this function is going to return invite for meeting if it's true. Remember, for the if function, the first one returns the value if it's true, while the second one returns the value if it's false. So in this case, whatever range that we select, if it's true, it's going to write invite for meeting. If it's false, it's going to write do not invite. Hit the enter key and see if this works. Invite for meeting. Let's try to see if the next cell will be invited for meeting. Equal to if the next cell is F3. If F3 is equal to salesman, what should be returned if it's true? Invite for meeting. Invite for the meeting. Now, if the selected range is false, what should be returned? Do not invite. Do not invite. Now, you close and hit the enter key. It shows do not invite. Now, let's take a look at why should this person not be invited for the meeting. That's because this person, Pam Basley, is a receptionist. That's why she is not invited for the meeting. Try this out for the remaining cell and see if you would get the same output as me. Turns out only 3 people were invited for the meeting, and those are the people that are really wanted in this meeting, which are the salesmen. Try to say if you get the same answer as me, and if you do, then that's very great. You now understand how to use the if function.